You're 20 years old, and your father is dying. David, warrior, poet, killer, king, lies on a bed in Jerusalem, shivering under blankets even though it's the middle of summer. His body can't hold heat anymore. They've brought a young woman named Abishag just to lie next to him, skin to skin, to keep him warm. That's the state of the most powerful man in Israel. And you are not his eldest son. You're not even close. Your older brother Adonijah has already declared himself king. He's thrown a coronation feast at En Rogel, just south of the city. He's got Joab, the commander of the army. He's got Abiathar, the high priest. He's got chariots, horsemen, 50 men running ahead of him in the streets. You have your mother. Bathsheba walks into David's chamber and reminds him of a promise he made, that you, Solomon, would sit on the throne. Whether that promise was real or invented in that room, no one will ever know for certain. But your father gives the order. Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet take you on David's personal mule to the Gihon spring. They pour oil over your head. A ram's horn blows. By nightfall, Adonijah's guests are scattering. Your father's last words to you are not sentimental. He tells you to be strong. He tells you to follow God's law. Then he gives you a kill list. Joab, Shimei, men who wronged him that he never settled accounts with. He's handing you his unfinished violence. David dies, and the kingdom is yours. You move fast. Adonijah asks for Abishag, your father's last companion, as a wife. It sounds like a small request. It's not. In this world, claiming a king's concubine is a claim to the throne. You have him executed the same day. Joab hears the news and runs to the tabernacle, grabs the horns of the altar, the ancient equivalent of claiming sanctuary. You send Benaiah, your enforcer, to kill him there, at the altar. Abiathar the priest is stripped of his position and exiled. Shimei is placed under house arrest in Jerusalem with clear terms: leave the city, and you die. 3 years later, 2 of his slaves run away to Gath. He goes after them. Benaiah is waiting when he gets back. 4 men, 4 threats removed. You're maybe 22 years old. This is not wisdom yet. This is survival. But now the board is clear, and what you build on it will be remembered for 3,000 years. You go to Gibeon, the great high place, and sacrifice 1,000 burnt offerings. That night, God speaks to you in a dream and offers you anything. You ask for wisdom, an understanding heart to judge your people. The text says God is pleased because you didn't ask for wealth or long life or the death of your enemies. You get all of it anyway. The wisdom shows up immediately. 2 women come before you, both claiming the same baby. You call for a sword. You say, cut the child in half. 1 woman agrees. The other begs you to give the baby to her rival. Just let him live. You hand the child to the one who would rather lose him than see him die. Word travels fast. The whole nation hears the verdict. And suddenly they're afraid of you. Not because you're violent, but because you see through people. That's a different kind of power. And it's more dangerous than any army. Now you build. Your father wanted to build God's temple. God told him no. Too much blood on your hands. That job passes to you. You negotiate a deal with Hiram, king of Tyre, for Lebanese cedar and cypress. The price is 125,000 bushels of wheat and 115,000 gallons of pressed olive oil. Every year, you conscript 30,000 laborers from Israel and rotate them in shifts, 10,000 per month in Lebanon, 2 months home. You bring in 70,000 carriers and 80,000 stone cutters from the hill country. 3,300 foremen oversee the operation. The foundation stones are massive, some cut to 15 feet long. They're dressed at the quarry so that no hammer, chisel, or iron tool is heard at the temple site during construction. Think about that. The logistics of cutting, transporting, and fitting stones of that size in silence. It takes 7 years. The interior is lined with cedar. The floor is cypress. The inner sanctuary, the most holy place, is a perfect cube, 30 feet in every direction. overlaid in gold. 2 cherubim carved from olive wood stand inside, each 15 feet tall, wings outstretched, touching wall to wall. The amount of gold used is almost impossible to calculate. Some estimates place it at 20 tons for the interior alone. The day you dedicate it, the priests carry in the Ark of the Covenant. When they set it down in the inner sanctuary, a cloud fills the entire temple. So thick the priest can't stand to minister. You kneel in front of the whole nation and pray. This is the peak. Remember it. Because now you build your own palace. It takes 13 years, nearly double the time of God's house. The hall of the forest of Lebanon, your throne room, is 150 feet long, 75 feet wide, 45 feet high, lined with cedar columns. Your ivory throne has 6 steps, 12 lions, and gold armrests. Nothing like it exists in any kingdom on earth. The wealth is staggering. 666 talents of gold come in every year, roughly 25 tons. Your trading fleet sails from Etzion-Geber on the Red Sea, crewed jointly with Hiram's Phoenician sailors, and returns every 3 years carrying gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. You corner the horse and chariot trade between Egypt and the Hittite kingdoms, buying Egyptian chariots for 600 shekels of silver and horses for 150, then reselling north at markup. You build an entire fleet of merchant ships. Silver becomes so common in Jerusalem it's treated like stone. You have 1,400 chariots, 12,000 horsemen, fortified cities at Hazor, Megiddo, Gezer, Beth Horon, Baalath, and Tadmor in the wilderness. You build the Millo, the great terrace system that holds Jerusalem's expanding infrastructure together. The Queen of Sheba travels 1,400 miles from southern Arabia to test you with hard questions. She arrives with camels carrying spices, gold, and precious stones. After seeing your court, your palace, the food on your table, the seating of your officials, the attire of your servants, the burnt offerings at the temple, the text says there is no more breath in her. You answer every question she asks. She gives you 120 talents of gold, roughly 4.5 tons, and more spices than Jerusalem has ever seen. And here is where it turns: 700 wives, 300 concubines. These are not romantic relationships, they're treaties. Every wife is a sealed alliance: Egyptian, Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonian, Hittite. Each one brings her gods: Chemosh, Molech, Ashtoreth. And as you age, the text says, your heart turns. You build high places for these gods on the hills east of Jerusalem, altars where incense burns to Chemosh, the god of Moab, and to Molech, the god associated with child sacrifice. Whether you participate directly or merely permit it, the line has been crossed. The man who built God's house now funds competing altars within sight of it. God speaks to you again, not in a dream this time, through the prophet Ahijah, who finds your servant Jeroboam on the road and tears a new cloak into 12 pieces. He gives Jeroboam 10. 10 tribes will be ripped from your son's hand, not from yours. From your sons, you get to die as king. The punishment lands 1 generation later. The last years are not recorded in triumph. Adversaries rise: Hadad the Edomite, Rezon of Damascus, Jeroboam from within your own court. The man who once judged between 2 mothers with perfect clarity is now watching his kingdom fracture in slow motion. The alliances that were supposed to secure peace brought in the very thing that undid everything. You write Ecclesiastes, or at least tradition says you do, and it reads like a man who has seen and done everything and found it hollow. Vanity of vanities. I built houses. I planted vineyards. I gathered silver and gold. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. Then I looked at everything my hands had done, and it was all meaningless, a chasing after wind. The man with more wisdom than anyone who ever lived couldn't follow his own. You die after 40 years on the throne. Your son Rehoboam takes the crown and immediately faces a choice: lighten the people's burden or double it. He chooses the whip. The kingdom splits in two: Israel to the north, Judah to the south. They will never reunite. Everything you built, the trade networks, the alliances, the fortified cities, the empire that stretched from the Euphrates to the border of Egypt, dissolves within a generation. The temple stands for about 370 more years before Nebuchadnezzar burns it to the ground. The gold is gone. The ivory throne is gone. The peacocks, the apes, the 1,400 chariots, gone. What remains is a prayer you made at the dedication, a verdict you gave over a child, in a book that says everything under the sun is meaningless. You asked for wisdom. You got it, and it wasn't enough.